there's so much to be happy about tonight, you know? There really is. We beat one of our biggest rivals 6-1. We embarrassed him on their home ice. Alexis Lafreniere had his first multi-point game. Kreider had a second hat trick in 5 games. There's so much to be happy about. Shesterkin looked like he had the game of his career. But because we live in the worst timeline, here we go. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to recap Game 21 of the regular season. Rangers over the Devils, 6-1. But they outshot us 36-19, which is kind of hilarious. There's nothing to do, man. I just got to get into it, because it's going to get painful as we get into the late third period. 12:48 left in the period. Devils take a shot way down, takes an awful bounce off the boards, right in front of the net, to Jack Hughes, who is a good player. I think he will be a great player. He's going to have a lot of goals in his career, and I don't think he's going to get an easier one than that. Shesterkin maybe could have positioned himself a little better and broke it up with a stick if he would have really been prepared for it, but that was just a crisp pass off the boards. Like that, the boards at that point in the game were passing better than the Rangers were, so I'm not going to get upset. But 1-0 Devils, not quickly, but before the halfway mark of the period, which, you know, wasn't devastating. Clearly it wasn't devastating, but it happens. At 4:29, Filipino takes a interference penalty. Now, I don't think he meant to do it. Like, I definitely think it was an accident, but the rules are rules. He definitely interfered with the play. He kind of took the guy down and hard. So I'm not going to cry wolf or anything or complain about it. It happened. 3:47 left. Johansson, I believe, on the Devils is his name, does this nice wraparound. Shesterkin makes a brilliant save. It goes under his pad, and before this other Devil, who is darting in, can get there, he covers it up. Nothing to worry about. And that was pretty much it for the period. Shesterkin's pure athleticism, by the way, amazes me every time I watch him do stuff like that. So after the first period, the Rangers' offense is awful. We cannot establish any type of zone control to save our lives, but our defense is looking pretty good, and Shesterkin, even though he allowed the goal and it was a bad one, was 13-14 after the first period. So I was pretty happy and confident going into the second period that we could make a game out of this. And I was right and wrong. We made a game out of it, but we didn't make a game out of it. So on to the second period, 12:07 left. The Devils take a hooking call. Rangers get their first power play, and that's when we would first cash in. So it's 11:32, and Adam Fox gets the puck in our zone, and he passes way up ice to Pavel Buchnevich, who carries it in a little bit, passes it over to Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome passes it with a gorgeous cross-ice pass to Chris Kreider, who tosses it in. 1-1, Rangers tie it. And, I mean, that was a beautiful sequence. Obviously, Fox did not get an assist. He really deserved it, because that was a beautiful play by him to get it started and really get it moving. Now, I noticed this, and I think everyone did. After 11 minutes into the period, Mika Zibanejad had not gotten on the ice. They essentially benched him for the first half of the second period. I don't know why, but it seems like it might have worked, because after he came back, we had 5 unanswered goals. Like, I don't know what to say. It was insane after that point. So 6:03 left. Ryan Strome takes a wide shot of the net. It bounces off the boards. It goes back out. Lindgren shoots at the net from almost the blue line, and Kreider tips it in. It's 2-1. Rangers take the lead. And that's Chris Kreider's second goal of the night. He's not going to do it again, is he? He's not. No, he couldn't. It was like forever in between hat tricks. He's not going to have a second one in 5 games. Anyway, a little bit later on at 5:03, Labor Halak takes a cross-checking penalty. He goes to the box for 2 minutes. Devils get another power play. But the Rangers kill it off, and not much else happens for the second period. The Rangers go into the third, up 2-1, looking very good. We only allowed 9 shots on goal in that period, and I'm like, you know what? We got a chance here, don't we now? So, into the third period, 19:37 left. Filipino steals it, passes it over to Chris Kreider, and I don't even know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. Chris Kreider puts it in the net, and for the second time in 5 games, after almost a 4-year drought in between hat tricks, for the second time in 5 games, it's in. Hat trick for the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Kreider. And we're up 3-1, excuse me. And I am losing my mind at this point. 16:03 left in the period. Alexis Lafreniere has this really nice defensive play on Jack Hughes and just takes it from him. Number one overall versus number one overall. Both of them had some nice plays tonight. He passes it on over to Buchnevich. Buchnevich starts to carry it into the zone. He passes it back to Lafreniere. Lafreniere waits. A beauty back over to Buchnevich, and it's in 4-1 Rangers. And I'm starting to lose my mind, because that was the 4th consecutive game with an Alexis Lafreniere point. Meaning that when Alexis Lafreniere scores a point, we are 3-1. And he has scored them in 4 consecutive games. Almost like it's really hard to make a snap judgment on a kid after, 10 months of no hockey, and before his 20th game of hockey, because people were calling him a bust. You still want to say that now that he's had 5 points in his last 4 games? And I'm not saying he isn't, by the way. I'm not saying that this means he's an all-star or anything. But I am saying it's very hard to judge young players in any sport after just a few games, because here's the thing. A, they're young, he's 19, and B, when people started to call him a bust, he hadn't played 20 games yet in the NHL. I just had to get that out. So, 15:49 left. McLeod and Smith start fighting behind the net. And everyone was obviously focused on the fight like you would be, but since I'm a goalie nerd, I'm like, wow, Shesterkin made a few nice saves there. So they both go off to the penalty box. Still even strength. Nothing of note really happens at that point. 12:58. Lingrid for hooking on what could have been, I believe it was just a straight-up breakaway. It might have been 2-on-1. And he breaks it up. He takes a penalty because, obviously. But I sort of had this thought of, should the Rangers just, whenever they're about to give up a breakaway, because that happens almost every game, just start whacking on the player, draw a penalty, since our penalty kill is so good. I think it's the 5th. I know it's the 5th ranked. It might be the 4th after this game, because I believe we were 4 for 4. So at what point are you like, you know what, guys? We got a good penalty kill. If you see him going towards the net, just start whacking him. Trip him with your stick. Flip him if you can. Just don't let him do it. Because our breakaway defense this year has been pathetic, and our penalty kill has been outstanding. So, now obviously that is a joke. I just wanted to put that out there. So a little bit later on, 9:26 left in the period. Brendan Lemieux for roughing. Devils get their 4th power play. We kill that off. A little bit later on, I'm almost to the point that I'm dreading talking about. Oh, boy. So, 6:54, McLeod accidentally trips Igor Shesterkin. It wasn't like a bad trip or anything, and it definitely wasn't intentional. I don't think he meant to do it. But we get a power play out of it, and then the incident. I don't know how else to word it. 5:52 left in the period. The Devils get a 2-on-1 breakaway. Shesterkin makes a very nice play to break it up. But at what cost? Shesterkin, I don't know what happened. He didn't get hit by the puck. He didn't get hit by a person. But he was on the ground, and it was a very scary scene if you saw it. And if you didn't see it, I would recommend you continue not to see it, because it was horrifying. I do not know if it's a pulled hamstring. I want to believe that's it. But, God, it looks bad. Now what happened, as best I can recall it, and I feel like I'm already trying to block these memories out of my mind, he just lunges to his right as hard as he can, falls to the ice, puts both of his hands on his head, and then starts grabbing his lower back. He cannot skate off, he can't lean up, he can't stand up, and he gets carried like a rag doll off the ice by Buchnevich and Kreider. I don't know what to say. This was the best game of his career, right? He looked unreal tonight. There were so many high-quality chances for the Devils that he was just shutting down. And, God, I don't know. Gut reaction, this is bad. This is bad, and for a long time bad. I don't know anything, but, Lord, I just have this bad gut feeling that it could be a long time before we see Shesterkin on the ice again. And I really hope to God I'm wrong. On to a little bit happier things. 4:35. At this point, though, I had pretty much lost all joy of the game. So 435, Philip DiGiuseppe goes into the zone. He's being double teamed by a couple of Devils. He tries to pass it in front. It bounces off Kevin Rooney and a couple of Devils. And then Brendan Smith buries it. It's 5-1 Rangers. And then just a few moments after that, 1:33 left in the period. The Devils are trying to break out. Mika Zibanejad is giving them some crap in their own zone. He just gets a piece of the puck, like a fraction of it. Breaks up one of the passing plays that they're trying to do. Gets it to Lafreniere, and he buries it. It's a Lafreniere goal. It is his second in 2 nights, I do believe. Yeah, it's his second in 2 games. And it's a beauty. He buries it. First multi-point NHL game for Alexis Lafreniere. It was a beaut. Like, I have no complaints about him. He was really good tonight. But it's hard, man. Like, I don't know what to say about it, you know? We finally looked like we were starting to turn the ship around, you know? We beat Boston convincingly. We had a bad game against them, but what have you. We looked good against Buffalo the other night. We looked great tonight. And then Shesterkin. And I just don't know what to think. 6 of our 19 shots on goal went in, which I thought was funny, and we only allowed 1 of their 36, so that was a positive. Kreider had another hat trick, which is insane. Shesterkin, before leaving, was 32 of 33. Again, I'm going to keep saying it, probably the best game of his career. It was unbelievable. A lot of goals, a lot of assists to get into, so really quickly, before I end the video, Chris Kreider had 3 goals, Buchnevich with a goal, Brendan Smith with a goal, and Alexis Lafreniere with a goal. And the assists, Lafreniere with 1, Strome with 2, Kevin Rooney with 2, Philip DiGiuseppe, Ryan Lindgren, Philip Hedl, Pavel Buchnevich, another 2.9 for him, and Mika Zibanejad. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. But that is it. That is all I have to say. I will see you guys Saturday. After that game, I assume Georgiev will be in net. Unless it's a miracle, and he just, like, tweaked a little hammy. That game is against the Devils on Saturday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And go Rangers.